What is up, guys? I'm Anthony, and this is Fantasy Football Hot Takes. You guys saw Jake come out with a video on Tuesday about waiver wire rankings, where you should add and drop for your fantasy team. So go check that out after this video. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about the start 'em and sit 'ems, who you should start and sit for your fantasy team. I'll give you 3 starts and sits for your fantasy team. So at quarterback, I have Ben Roethlisberger. He's playing against a good defense, but he's very good at his home field, Heinz Field, so I think you should start Ben Roethlisberger. Dak Prescott. He's playing against the Green Bay Packers, and I feel like there'll be a very high-scoring game back and forth. And Eli Manning is playing against the Chargers defense, and the Chargers have a very bad defense, and Eli has been pretty solid these past few weeks. I would sit Jared Goff. He has been having a very good year this year, but he's playing against the Seahawks defense, and the Seahawks have a very good defense, so I would not start Jared Goff. Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was bad in the beginning of the year. Then they changed offensive coordinators, and he's starting to progress and get better. But he's playing against the Bills defense, and I feel like they'll be shutting him down. Tyrod Taylor. He's playing against the Bengals defense. The Bengals have a pretty good pass defense, and Tyrod's been up and down this year, so don't expect him to have a good game this week. Running backs. I would start Jay Ajayi. I told you to start Jay Ajayi last week, and that did not work out very well. But I feel like I have a bounce-back game this week against the Titans, who let up a lot of points to Lamar Miller last week. Christian McCaffrey. Now, the Lions have a very good pass rush, so I feel like they'll just be blitzing Cam all day, and Cam just going to be checking it down to McCaffrey. Bilal Powell. He had a very good game last week. He's playing against the Browns this week, and the Browns do not have a very good defense, so expect Bilal Powell to have a pretty good game. I would sit LeGarrette Blount. He did really good last week against the Chargers, but he's losing some touches to Wendell Smallwood and is playing against a very good Cardinals defense. Eddie Lacy is playing against the Rams defense. The Rams have a very good defense, and there's a lot of other running backs in that backfield that include J.D. McKenzie and Thomas Rawls. I would also sit Amir Abdullah, who's playing against the Panthers run D, and the Panthers have a very good run D. Wide receiver. I would start T.Y. Hilton this week, who is playing against the 49ers defense, and the 49ers have a very bad pass defense. Larry Fitzgerald, who I told you to start last week, and he scored a touchdown last week. I expect him to do that again this week against the Eagles D, who have a very vulnerable pass defense. Sterling Shepard, he is a sleeper this week. He's playing against a bad Chargers defense, and he's been doing very good these past few weeks. I expect him to have a few catches and a touchdown in this game. Sit. I would sit Alshon Jeffrey. Now, Alshon Jeffrey did score a touchdown, but he's playing against the Cardinals defense, and Patrick Peterson will probably be locking him down the whole entire game. So I would not start Patrick Peterson this week. I would not start Alshon Jeffrey this week. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper last week scored 90th in fantasy points. 90th. I feel he's not having a very good year at all, and he's playing against the Ravens defense. The Ravens pass defense will be shutting him down the whole game. Kelvin Benjamin. He had a good game last week, but I don't expect him to do that again this week against the Lions defense, and Darius Slay will probably be locking him up the whole game. Tight ends. I would start Delaney Walker this week, who's playing against the Dolphins, and they do not have a very good tight end defense. And Charles Clay, who's playing against the Bengals, who surrender a lot of points to tight ends. Evan Engram. He's playing against a very bad Chargers D, and he's had a solid season so far this year. Eric Ebron. He's been a disappointment to a lot of fantasy owners, and is playing against the Panthers D. Tyler Kroft, who had a monster game last week, but I don't expect him to do that again against this very good Bills defense. Martellus Bennett, who's not been doing well at all this year and is playing against the Cowboys defense, so I would not start Martellus Bennett this week. Defenses. I would definitely start the Vikings defense this week. They're playing against the Bears, and Mitchell Trubisky's first game at quarterback. He could be stepping back, throwing off his back foot, not knowing what to do, and throw a lot of picks in this game. The Ravens. They're playing against the Raiders and E.J. Manuel. I could see a lot of interceptions in that game thrown by E.J. Manuel, so I'd start the Ravens D. The Lions D, who have had the best defense these last 4 weeks, and they're facing the Panthers. I feel like they can keep the streak up and be one of the best defenses again this week. I would sit the Texans defense. The Texans have a very good defense, but they are playing against a high-powered Chiefs offense, and Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Alex Smith have been doing very good this season. The Jaguars have been doing really good this season, but they're playing against the Steelers defense, Steelers offense. The Steelers have a very, very good offense. The Packers. I would not start the Packers this week because the Cowboys have a very good offense in Dez and Dak and Zeke, so I would not start the Packers defense this week. Kickers. I would start Dan Bailey against the Packers, Greg Zuerlein against the Seahawks, and Justin Tucker against the Raiders. I would sit Jason Myers against the Steelers, Graham Gano against the Lions, and Blair Walsh against the Rams. Now for me and Jake's breakout people of this week, Jake's person is Latavius Murray, because Dalvin Cook has had that injury, and Jake feels that Latavius Murray will come out and be the workhorse and score a touchdown for you guys this week. And I have two people. One is Mike Evans. Mike Evans is playing against the bad defense this week, and I feel like you should start Mike Evans in all formats. And one is Odell Beckham Jr. He's having a few lingering injuries, but he's playing against the Chargers defense. The Chargers have a very bad defense, so expect Odell to go off for you and probably score at least 2 touchdowns in this game. So that's all for Fantasy Football Hot Takes. Check me and Jake out next week when we give you our waiver wire rankings. That's all for today. Peace.